Deborah Carlson.
Here.
Trent Cornell is absent. David Friedman.
Here.
Ed Goodale.
Here.
Jim Nyesti is absent. And Steve Ross is absent.
Okay.
We do have a quorum with 4.
Right. So first, let's consider the minutes from the February 2 meeting, which was the last one we didn't have a March meeting. Anybody have any comments or a motion with respect to February 2?
Move we approve as submitted.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone? Okay. Public comment. We have a big crowd as usual. Anyone want to talk about anything that's not on the agenda? Okay. Next, we have the public hearing to consider a request of Lynn and Robert Goldschmidt, 333 Dundee Road, to increase the allowed floor area ratio for a proposed screen porch sunroom addition. If anybody is going to testify, you should raise your hand and you'll get sworn in.
Even if you're just thinking of something.
Yeah, nothing bad happens if you get sworn.
You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth and the matters about to be heard.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Thank you.
Before you start, so we have, normally there's supposed to be 7 people. There are only 4 here. The way our rules work, that means everybody has to vote yes or it goes down. But the way we try to run things is if it looks like it's going south, you can pull it off and wait till next month when somebody comes in. So, just in the interest of being fair to you, we'll try to make sure we disclose what we're thinking. And I don't mean to suggest at all that I think you're in trouble or anything. I just watch so that if it looks dicey, we don't want anybody to lose because there aren't enough people here. It's not your fault. So, Dr. and Mrs. Goldschmidt, who's talking?
Oh, me.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you for that disclaimer. First of all, let me say I'm a little nervous, which will surprise anybody who knows me at all. But, and I don't want to embarrass my husband too much, but I do want to say that I feel like I'm doing this project for him. Well, maybe that's enough. I feel like I'm doing this project for my husband, who is a wonderful person, and I love him very much. But the project we want to do is, it's a screen porch sunroom addition to our house. I actually took some photographs. Should I give people the
Whatever you want.
Okay, you're going to think these are ridiculous because, well, you'll see why. But here's the, I don't know if people had a chance to go look at our house or not, but that's the back of our house. That's me. And I put on like a bright orange top thinking I would show up better.
A relational figure.
Yes, no, I have copies for
Oh,
everyone.
okay.
That's how far the addition would go out back of our house. So, there you go. Hey, John. There's another one too. Here, I'll give you both as long as we turn them. There's one more. Okay, good. I was on the zoning board for a number of years, and I know I tried to go out and look at properties, but I didn't always succeed. So I thought having those might be helpful. So I don't know if you can tell or not, but basically we have a large backyard. We have a very narrow lot, which means that even this very small addition puts us over the currently allowed FAR. The addition we're proposing is a little less than 150 square feet. It's 1 story high. It's a small sunroom screen porch. Our backyard is 5,000 square feet. And so this screen porch sunroom addition would actually take up less than 3% of our backyard. I mean, that number seems so small to me, but I did the math like 1,000 times, and every time I did it, it came out to be less than 3%. At the time we purchased our house, we could have built this addition within the then applicable FAR rules, but we didn't for financial reasons. It's become more important to us now, and this is why I said it. This is my project for my husband, who's completely embarrassed by this and didn't even want to come and did not raise his hand because he doesn't want to talk. But anyway, 10 years ago, Bob was diagnosed with leukemia. He underwent very intensive chemotherapy. As a matter of fact, that's why I went off the zoning board. I was on the zoning board at the time, and when Bob was diagnosed, I immediately resigned. And the chemotherapy, thank God, saved his life, which was obviously a good thing, but it also destroyed his immune system. So he's had various health problems since then, and although he thinks that he is absolutely fine and doesn't need to take any special precautions, obviously there are things which are a higher risk factor to him than to others, and insect-borne diseases are one of them. So I would love for him to be able to enjoy his backyard without being exposed to that additional risk, which is why this project is now very important to me and is kind of my, for me, it's the reason I'm doing this project. Interestingly, I know, of course, the reasons for the FAR rules. Interestingly, the density in our immediate vicinity has been significantly reduced. The house next door to ours was torn down. It was bought by 2 other property owners. I've spent the last year working with Dan Hagedorn, who wanted desperately to be here tonight, but business called him to Dallas. So he could not be here. He wrote at least 2 letters, one to the, I think, village president, one to you. He actually is a wonderful guy. He feels very passionately about my project, in that he very much wants us to do it. I tried actually to buy FAR from him. I tried to make an arrangement, and his wife Taryn made show up. Hi, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
But for reasons related to his bank, for a variety of reasons, that was not a successful effort. But we had, as a result of this house having been torn down, we have less density in our immediate vicinity than we did. In any event, my wonderful neighbors are enthusiastically in support of this project, evidenced by the fact that they actually took time to come to this meeting to show their support. I can, show you the plans if you want me to. You can kind of see that, the addition is just that octagonal shape, which
That's
would
what we have.
be next to the patio, and, that's our backyard. Doesn't look like 3% to me, but I did the math so many times. You probably have this, but yeah. I don't know, I have these big boards as well, with, elevations that I had done, if it's helpful to see it.
We have those too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not so helpful.
Yeah, that's fine. They were helpful, but we got them.
Yeah, and the last thing I would say is that I was on the zoning board for a number of years. I actually did only resign when Bob was diagnosed because I decided that's where I needed to focus my energy. In my opinion, I basically nursed him back to health. Again, he's not talking tonight.
He's not talking, so we can't ask.
Right. But when I was on the zoning board, and John may or may not remember this, I always voted in favor of any resident's proposal that I thought was reasonable, that did not create problems for neighbors, it did not create safety issues. And my feeling is that if you all, vote kind of along similar lines, that you would support my proposal.
Okay. Anybody have questions about this? In fairness to the Goldschmidts, does anybody need to warn them that they should think about funding for a month?
Yeah, don't worry.
Okay. Maybe it's because you're a lawyer, maybe it's because you're a former member of the zoning board. This was the single best presentation.
You're
that we've
kidding!
seen here.
Seriously?
And you didn't need it all. That is.
Oh, I'm
and-
so happy!
You didn't need it all, because even if you didn't have the health reason, I think everybody needs a screened in porch so they don't get bug bites.
Be nice.
Anybody have a motion?
Move we accept the variation request
Is there
of
a
the
second?
Goldschmidts.
Second.
Let's call roll call.
Carlson,
Yes.
Friedman,
Yes.
Goodale,
Yes.
and Rowan.
Aye.
Am I allowed to hug people on the committee?
No, it looked
I don't
like.
think your arms are that
Oh,
long.
Good luck with your project.
Thank
You got
you.
your neighbors to sign on. The only thing I would say to the neighbors who wrote those excellent letters is that in one of the letters it said something about that you were shocked the village could ever possibly think of rejecting this. There's a zoning code. The zoning code
That was
has numbers, and if the numbers say it requires a variance, so you come here, and what we try to do, I think, more or less successfully, is apply the rules that you applied when you were on the zoning board. We hope we can say yes when the neighbors are happy with the project. We look a little more closely at it if the neighbors are unhappy, and we want you to be able to do what you can do. So good luck with your project and your screened in porch, and when you're all done, you can invite everybody over for drinks and so.
well, I'm inviting these guys for sure, and now I'll extend the invitation. But you have no idea how happy this is, baby. This is such an important project to me. So thank you
Like I said,
so
if you scope
much.
this out, you find out it wasn't as hard as you thought.
Well, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do we have anything else? Thank you all for coming. Is there a motion?
Move we adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
We think next month